good morning. I've got to try and get a gallop on this morning. I want to get to work a little bit sharpish. And for those of you wondering, if you want to get to work sharpish while you're walking, you could just get the bus. I like walking. Yeah. So here's, what day is it? It's Tuesday. Tuesday the 2nd of July 2019. Very good morning, everyone. So, what have we got today? A usual rant. You're probably thinking Chris is on one yet again because something's pissed him off yet again, and you're probably thinking, yeah, you know what, you're right, Chris is on one. Oh boy, oh boy, bad driving, bad driving. I do wonder sometimes whether it's people that fall into bad habits and start driving like arseholes, or they get taught how to drive like arseholes by the driving instructor. You know, I mean, I've been driving since 2004. My driving hasn't really changed much since the day I passed my test. I passed my test the first time with only 2 minors. You see, I was taught not just how to pass a test, I was taught how to drive by the Barnes School of Motoring, Footscray. So there's a plug for a business right there. But it just gets to me because I'm pretty sure when it comes down to it, we should all have the same level of competence on the road, especially when it comes down to my fellow bus drivers. My fellow bus drivers. Oh, I wish I could say a good majority of my colleagues on various different routes from various different companies, I wish I could say they all had the same level of enthusiasm for driving excellence as I do. I really do. But no, when it comes down to it, a good, I'm not going to say majority, but a good proportion of the people I work with on London's roads do not know their elbows from their arseholes. Let me give you an example. This happened yesterday. I've come down Regent Street. I'm approaching Piccadilly Circus. I've served my bus stop. I've pulled out and I have taken the right-hand lane, the offside lane, for going straight ahead onto Haymarket. Because the left-hand lane, you're majority of the time going to get stuck in behind traffic trying to turn left onto Shaftesbury Avenue. So therefore what I've done is I've adopted a good position in the road to get me where I need to be safely. Yep. There's no need to fuss at the last minute, slapping your indicators on, then trying to muscle in just because you were stupid enough to get yourself stuck behind a taxi turning left. No, get yourself into the position you need before you get there. It's called prior planning, good positioning. You see, that's what I do. So what happens then? So I've got myself in the right hand lane, I'm going straight ahead on the Haymarket. What happens then? I then have one of my colleagues on a Route 88, and I am going to be submitting a report about this, because it's not just this, listen, it gets better, decides to undertake me as the road bears round slightly to the right and then cut in front of me. Fine. Actually, do you know what? My bad. That's not what happened. There was an 88 involved, but that's not what happened. That was a 94. excuse me. Oh, don't want to get my facts mixed up now. That was a Route 94. So I've come round onto Haymarket. I've served the bus stop. The 88 driver in question then decides to pull in front at an angle long after the bus stop, because dickhead thought it would be fun to not serve the bus stop, and then at the last minute sees someone flapping their bingo wings at him, right? So of course he's thought, oh, I better pull in. The easiest thing in the world to do as a bus driver is, if you can't see people at the bus stop because there's a bus here already, indicate and stop. If you don't know there's anyone there or not, don't take any chances. Serve the stop safely. That way you have no excuse. If there is someone there, they can get on your bus. If there's no one there, happy days. And it also means that someone on your bus who may not know where they're going may be able to get off the bus. They could be deaf and not hear the announcement on the bus as to where they are, but they only know landmarks. They might see Her Majesty's Royal Theatre and think, I know where I am, I better get off the bus. Yeah. You know, it's just the easiest thing in the world is to just stop. Anyway, so he stopped in front of me, opened the doors at an angle, letting people on and off in the middle of the road. So while he's there, I've pulled out, gone back around him, made my way onto Cockspur Street, Trafalgar Square. Lovely area, full of rich architecture, you know, full of history, wonderful place. So I've served the bus stop on Cockspur Street, Trafalgar Square, and I've yet again adopted the right-hand lane before approaching the Charles I roundabout. Is this thing gonna, there we go. So naturally, on that roundabout, you have 3 working lanes on that roundabout. Okay? As you approach the roundabout from Cockspur Street, the left-hand lane is for making your way left on Trafalgar Square, up Charing Cross Road or down the Strand. The right lane from Cockspur Street is for turning right at the roundabout and either making your way using lane 1 of 3 down Northumberland Avenue, or lanes 2 and 3 to get onto Whitehall, or circumnavigate going under Admiralty Arch or back around to Cockspur Street. I initially wanted to do this as a pre-record so I could get a couple of screenshots and see what was going on, but I thought I'd talk about it live and have a rant. So I've adopted the right-hand lane out of Cockspur Street to join lane 2 on the roundabout, which goes around to Whitehall. Okay? Makes perfect sense, doesn't it? It's clearly marked out on the road what goes where, and it's pretty much common sense, because once you're on the roundabout and you see the left-hand lane goes directly into Northumberland Avenue, it's a bit of a no-brainer. So like I said, I've adopted the middle lane on the roundabout, and then said 88 driver, when the lights go green, decides to muscle his way on the roundabout in the left-hand lane. In the left-hand lane, turning right at a roundabout in a left-hand lane. That doesn't wash, does it? So I'm indicating right, I've gone past Northumberland Avenue exit, and then I've indicated left. Arsehole features in Route 88 decides to carry on going, not checking his mirrors, and nearly drives his bus clean into mine, and then decides to stick his grubby finger out the window and call me names. Really? Really? I'm pretty sure it states, as a PCV license holder, as a driver that holds a DQC, when you're at a roundabout and there are 2 lanes turning right, you must adopt the left-hand lane. Very true. but there were 2 lanes turning right, not 3. Lane 1 is a specific lane for getting cars onto Northumberland Avenue. I was in lane 2, which is the first one of 2 to turn right. That's good driving, is it not? I mean, explain me if I'm wrong, please let me know. But I'm 110% sure that I'm not wrong here. So I've taken down the bonnet number. I'm not going to share that with you. I mean, I don't mind sharing the route number with you, but no, this driver's a piece of work. All right, so that's bad driving, bad driving by one of my colleagues, you see. But I see drivers, bus drivers, do silly shit like that all the time, and to be honest with you, it doesn't really surprise me. It should surprise me, but it doesn't, because I expect people on the road to drive like absolute numpties anyway. I expect people to be stupid. On a daily basis, I expect people to be stupid. At the end of Whitehall yesterday, I turned left onto Bridge Street on the exact same trip. Not 5 minutes later. This gets even better. 88 driver's gone, he's Foxtrot Oscar, he's fucked off, he's gone, he's long gone. You know? No. I've turned left onto Bridge Street using the filter. I'm tucked up behind a 453. I'm in the right-hand lane for proceeding ahead onto Westminster Bridge, because the left-hand lane is a dedicated left-hand turn only. That left-hand turn goes onto Victoria Embankment. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. So what happens is the left-hand filter goes green, and the lights that go straight across onto Westminster Bridge are red, and they stay red for a good 25 to 30 seconds after the filter. And yes, I have timed it, and yes, I am that sad. So my light goes green, I check my mirrors as I should, and I proceed with care and caution as I should. As I'm approaching the lights, I'm always aware that there may be some kind of knob jockey wanting to tuck up the left-hand side in a left-hand turn only and try and muscle his way in to get onto Westminster Bridge. And I was not disappointed. Excuse me, just roll my sleeves up. No, I was not disappointed. As I come up to the traffic lights and I'm checking my mirrors, Mr. Taxi driver, driving his Mercedes Vito, thought it would be fun not to turn left in the dedicated left-hand lane turn. No, Mr. Vito taxi driver, right, thinks at the last minute he would indicate right and try and tuck in front of me. Think about that. You trying to tuck in front of a moving 13 plus ton vehicle. So I gave him a toot and he stopped. I then, with caution, passed this absolute twat biscuit at these traffic lights with about as much room as you could squeeze a Rizzler between. This bloke had passengers on his in his cab. If I was a passenger in that taxi, I can tell you now, I would not be paying a damn penny. And you know you can do that. You can refuse to pay any taxi or minicab fare if you feel your life was in danger. You don't have to pay them a penny. Because unlike a bus, where you have to pay first, in a taxi, you pay afterwards. So if that driver was driving like an absolute shit biscuit, you take his badge number, you refuse to pay him, get out of the taxi, and report the shit cunt to TfL. Did you know that? You do now. You know what, sometimes it's difficult. It is difficult trying to manage people's driving for them. Because as a bus driver, we actually get taught to drive defensively. It's pointless to drive aggressively or offensively. That does nothing for your own attitude. There's nothing for other road users. If you drive defensively, right, and you drive 2 miles an hour at least below any given speed limit, even though you may be pissing off drivers behind you, what you're actually doing is regulating the flow of traffic. You're keeping it safe. If you're driving down a narrow road and no one can overtake you, and you're driving at 18 miles an hour on a 20 road, what you're actually doing is preventing people from driving like idiots. Did you know that? So when you're driving your BMW, Audi or Mercedes, because you've got German car syndrome and you want to get everywhere as quick as you damn well can, and you go tearing down a 20 road at 40 just to get stuck at the next set of traffic lights to have me go right up behind you, just think, there's a speed limit for a reason. And it's a speed limit, not a speed target. You see that? It's the speed limit, not a speed target. If there's a bus driving slow, it's because the bus has to drive slow, because the bus driver's doing what he can to keep his passengers safe and comfortable while driving legally. I mean, if the bus is driving at 10 miles an hour in a 20 zone with his hazard lights on, then there's a good chance he's gone into limp mode. At which point, the driver should have an arm out the window, because if he's turning left or indicating left, he'll be doing this with his arm. At which point, what you do is you check your mirrors accordingly, indicate right, and proceed to overtake said vehicle with extreme care and caution. It's an easy thing. Yesterday there was a 148 bus down at Albany Road. Hazard lights on, bonnet door open, very narrow to pass. Easy way to deal with that: mirrors, signal, and maneuver when it's safe to do so. And admittedly, not everyone's going to give you way because it's oncoming traffic, but all it takes is a little bit of patience, doesn't it? That's all it took with this 88 driver earlier on, yesterday. All he had to do was exercise a little bit of patience. He had to hold back for the bus stop. He could have tucked in behind me instead of pulling in front of me like an absolute shit biscuit. Then all he had to do was think, use his brain at the roundabout, adopt the right hand lane, which he should have done, instead of sticking on the left hand lane and then cutting across traffic to get onto the roundabout and then undertaking me at the roundabout and nearly taking the front of my bus off. Adopt a little bit of care and caution. Doesn't take much, but it does do the world of difference. And there's no excuse for poor driving. If you've liked this video, give it a thumbs up. If you've hated this video and you think I'm an absolute waste of space, give it a thumbs down. That's okay, but tell me why. Have some bottle. Talk to me. That's why I do this channel. Get a bit of conversation going in the comments section. Subscribe, all the good stuff. Give it a share. Tell your mates. Bosh, take it easy.